Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my The Last of Us Remastered Left Behind DLC Grounded difficulty walkthrough. And this is part 3 of 3, and we go into the final fight of this expansion. And I'm not gonna lie, this is really hard. This is a real test of skill. You're gonna face off against 2.5 wave of enemies, more or less, because in this first wave you have a bunch of hunters trying to get into the store where Joel is recuperating, and you're gonna have to take out the guy banging on the lock. Take him out as soon as you can. He should be your first priority, because if you let him keep banging on it, he's gonna eventually open it and get into Joel, and it's a death screen. But if you take him out with your bow and his friends don't see it, which I failed miserably at, you're gonna get some downtime before anyone notices. And if you take too long with this first wave, after you've taken him out, of course, another guy is gonna start banging on the lock. So that is something you're gonna have to be very aware of when you're playing this. But I like to use the bow very much in this, because it's silent and it's very deadly, and as you can see, I'm playing this quite aggressively, being very effective with my shots, moving around, trying to check around me at all times. And when you go into the second wave of this fight, they are not gonna focus on the door, not to my knowledge at least, or instead they will just focus on finding you and killing you as fast as humanly possible. And as you know, at grounded mode there are no mid-battle checkpoints, so this is very hard, because as I said, there are two quite big waves. You can see new guys trying to bang on the lock over there, and a bit into the second wave some infecteds are gonna join the party, and as we all know, they can start fighting the hunters, so you can use that to your advantage. I'm not quite sure what triggers the infected to spawn, if it's time-based, if the fight goes on for a certain amount of time, or if they are triggered by you taking out a certain amount of hunters, but they will spawn in, at least. So after you've taken down the first wave, you're gonna trigger the second wave by interacting with the door to the store where Joel is. So as long as you don't interact with that lock, you are completely safe, and I suggest you use this time to loot through the bodies, try to find some resources if you find anything lying around. And before you go into the second phase of this fight, equip your gun, because they're gonna spawn in two guys with rifles, and take out at least one of them with your gun as soon as the fight starts, which I will do. Don't be afraid to sacrifice a bullet or two, because they pack a wicked punch, and at grounded mode you die easy, as we all know. So take him out if you can get a headshot, but my aim was a little bit off, so I had to sacrifice some bullets. And if you run into this door, this is completely consistent as far as I know, that one guy runs down the stairs and soon he is followed by his friend, which will be coming in there. So don't shoot down the first guy, wait for the other guy to come in, or in my case, fail miserably at your aiming, so he gets aware of where you are. But I do the old bottle and stab, so I managed to get out of it alive. And my favorite spot to hide out in is on the second floor of this store. I'm gonna venture up the stairs, be very aware, because there are no set patterns. The only thing I know that is consistent is those two guys running down the stairs. And I get amazingly lucky that he started to do a suicide rush, so I could do the bottle and stab on him as well. But I like to camp out behind his desk, because it's a great area to bottleneck the enemies, because you can keep your back against the wall and no one can flank you, as I end up in a bit of a Mexican standoff against two of them. And as you probably heard, they said that the infected have come to join the party. So I think it's based on the amount of hunters you have taken out. So I throw a Molotov over to that guy. I'm trying to get the attention of the infected in here so I can get those hunters off my back, because I know my health isn't that great right now. And I was quite nervous because he was just standing there looking at me, trying to get me to pop my head out so he could blow it off. But I decided to just tuck my balls, try to line up my shot and take him out as fast as possible. And as you can see, there are some gunshots taking place. That's the hunters fighting against the infected. As I make a little mistake, I run down the stairs. I wasn't quite aware of my surroundings and almost run into the face of a clicker. And I managed to escape from him by the skin of my teeth. And this is one of those great moments, because I ran up the stairs, the clicker started chasing me, lost track of me and started going for the hunter instead. Which is always great when that happens, when the enemy loses sight of you and starts fighting each other instead. So now I take my bow, I take down that clicker, and I think he was the last one.
If anyone's alive, don't even think
Yep.
about surprising me.
That's the sound cue for you to know that this fight is over, and absolutely hardest part of Left Behind. So after this you can run around, pick up some ammo if you want to. I don't know why I'm doing it, because I know that I'm safe. But you run down to the store once more, and that is the end of the fight. You'll see Ellie going in here, and we are gonna go over to the other part of this DLC, which is the chase, where Ellie and Riley are running away from lots of infecteds. And this is a very easy sequence. Just follow the yellow brick road, almost said. Instead follow Riley. The game is great at showing you which way it wants you to go. Head over to this steel curtain, and it's all scripted. As long as you keep your speed up, you shouldn't have any problems with this. Grab this little tool cart to prop up the door for Riley so she can get through. You're gonna have some close encounters with the infecteds at this point, because it's supposed to be tense, of course. So run down through this garage, mantle over truck, and continue onwards. You really don't need me commentating on this, actually. So do this little button mashing, continue onwards, chasing Riley, and to talk about something a bit different, my next project for this will be a pacifist run of Dishonored. I'm gonna start posting a walkthrough for how to get through the game without triggering any alarms, not killing anyone, taking all the stealth-based trophies or achievements, all those good stuff like Ghost and Shadow and Clean Hands, and mostly Flesh and Steel. So that will be the next project for the channel, and after that I'm gonna do Dishonored 2. And I'm not quite sure what will be the next project after that. If you have any requests, please let me know in the comments. And I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do. So we are getting close to the end of this walkthrough and the end of this video. If you have sharp eyes, you can see that that's when Ellie got bit. That guy was the source of The Last of Us, you could say, because that's when she got infected, and that's a nice thing to end this video on. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.